Hello and welcome to this course, Complete Guide to Redux Toolkit and RTK Query with React.js. My name is Soumitra Vishal and I am having more than 5 years of working experience as a front-end web developer in IT industry. So in this course, we are going to learn modern Redux concept, that is Redux Toolkit and RTK Query with React.js. So nowadays Redux got much easier with the new tools, that is Redux Toolkit and RTK Query. So I thought to create a brand new course on this topic because this library allows us to implement Redux in much easier and concise way than it used to be. Now let me give you the brief overview of Redux to those of you who don't know what it is. So Redux is a state management library that we use in our React application, as well as we can use it in any front-end application, not just React, but it's very popular with React. So let's see what we are going to learn in this course. So with the help of Redux Toolkit and RTK Query, we will be building 4 applications so that you can have full understanding of Redux Toolkit and RTK Query with React.js library. So first we will start with some theoretical concept, like we will try to understand the core problem of React and why we use Redux with React. Then we will understand like what is Redux Toolkit and what API include inside this Redux Toolkit package. After that we will start to work on our first application with Redux Toolkit, that is Cocktail application. In this application we will be using create async thunk middleware to make API requests. So you can see that with the help of API request we are listing out all cocktail, and user can also see more detail about a specific cocktail, and user can also search a specific cocktail. So this will be our first application with the help of Redux Toolkit and create async thunk middleware. Now after that we will build another application with the help of Redux Toolkit and create async thunk, in which we are going to perform all CRUD operation with the help of JSON placeholder fake API. So with the help of this application you are going to learn how to make get, post, put and delete requests with create async thunk middleware. After that our focus will be on learning the concept of RTK query, which is very powerful data fetching and caching tool. So we will start with the very basic application in which we will be using RTK query to build random user application, and in the end we will build our final application in this course, that is how to perform CRUD operation using RTK query in a React application using JSON fake server. So with the help of this application you will learn to write different query to make API requests such as get, post, put and delete. So guys, this many application we are going to build in this course with the help of Redux Toolkit and RTK query. Now let's talk about the basic requirement for this course. So this course is designed in such way that anyone can get enrolled into this course who are interested to learn modern Redux concept. You just need to have basic understanding of HTML, CSS, JavaScript as well as React basic concept. And the best thing about this course is that it will get updated time to time whenever new concept get added in a Redux Toolkit package. And also in future I will add some more project with Redux Toolkit. So as of now I have added only 4 projects in this course. So what are you waiting for? Enroll in this course in order to learn all this modern Redux concept. And if you have any query or suggestion, then you can always reach out to me. I will try my level best to solve all your query. So that's it from my end. I will see you in the course. First we will understand the core problem of React.js state management. So we have our main app component, then we got our sub component, and if we want to change a text, then we cannot do directly. Instead I have to inform a parent and change a text there, and if I got additional component then it will get even more complex. So therefore we have a Redux which have a different approach. So here we have our view or application, and in this application in any given component we dispatch an action, then action ran through the reducer. A reducer has a simple job or task, so it will take an action then it will take old state, manipulate it, and it will give a new state. So this manipulation will happen based on the immutable. That means it won't change the old state. It will take old state as a basis and then create a brand new state. So kind of copy of old state with the changes employed. So old state stay untouched. We just create a new state and return this new state. So this immutable gives you unique state in your application. So now we are getting a new state from reducer, then it will get stored into store, and we will have only one store in our application. So this store has a one simple task to store our state. That's why it's called store. We might have a multiple reducer, but we will have only one store in our application, and then our application subscribe to this store, and whenever state is get updated, so new state passed to the store will automatically send it to all the component interested, and the application will get updated. Now let's back to the previous example where we had our app component with other component, and now we also have a store. Now if we wanted to change something in the user component from main component, then we will dispatch an action, then change the state in reducer, and then we pass the state to all component interested. So this is all about what is Redux and why we use Redux. So now let's understand what is Redux toolkit. So Redux toolkit is also used for managing application state in a React application in efficient way. So it provides some batteries included tool set for efficient Redux development. So this batteries included tool set term look little bit fancy here, but you will understand this term later. So Redux was already popular option for state management in our React application. Then why Redux toolkit is required? So with Redux toolkit, there was so much code required to configure store to optimize at best level. And there was too much boilerplate code which makes our code less clean and efficient. Also, too many packages need to install to build a scalable application. And with traditional Redux, we used to write action and reducer in separate file, and this become more complex when our app get used. So to address this challenge, Redux team came up with the Redux toolkit. So Redux toolkit is a better approach for writing Redux logic. So overall, Redux toolkit speed up Redux development by including Redux core with Redux toolkit package that they think are essential to build a Redux application. So Redux toolkit allow developer to write simple, fast and clean Redux code. So this is all about Redux toolkit and why we use with React. So I hope you understand this fancy term now, that is battery included toolset. So this is all about Redux toolkit. Now let's understand this Redux toolkit with one basic scenario. So suppose we have to build a counter application and we have to manage a state. So first I am going to show you the traditional approach with Redux. So with traditional Redux, so we usually write reducer and action in a separate file, as you can see that here. So we have action.js in which we have a two action to increment the counter value or decrement the counter value, and in reducer.js file we have a logic to increment a counter value or decrement a counter value. So this is the traditional Redux approach. Now let's see how we approach with the Redux toolkit. So in Redux toolkit we write our reducer and action in the same file. So you can see that we have written our action and reducer under the create slice. So with Redux toolkit approach we can make the code much more concise by using create slice. So both the reducer and action can be written like this way under the slice. So by seeing this code, defining reducer and action become cleaner and faster in Redux toolkit. So there is no longer need to use the switch statement to manage the action with its corresponding reducer. And another thing you might have noticed here, like we are now directly mutating the state value in the reducer function instead of returning a new value to update the state. So this is actually happened because Redux toolkit used the Emmer library which allow writing the mutating logic in reducer. So this is all about the Redux toolkit. Now with the talk about this Redux toolkit API. So it includes following this API in Redux toolkit package. So let's start with the first one, that is configure store. So it's wrap our create store to provide a simplified configuration option and good default. It can automatically combine your slice reducer and you can supply any middleware whatever you want, and with Redux toolkit Redux Thunk included by default, and it also enable the use of Redux DevTool extension. So there is no need to write code to configure Redux DevTool with Redux toolkit package. So you just have to install Redux DevTool extension in your Chrome browser. So Redux DevTool automatically work with the Redux toolkit package. So this is all about the configure store. Now let's talk about this create reducer. So basically it simplify writing our Redux reducer function logic because it use immer library internally to update state immutable by writing mutative code in your reducer, and support directly mapping a specific action type to case reducer function that will update the state when the action get dispatched. So it supply a lookup table of a action type to case reducer function rather than writing switch case statement. Now let's move on and talk about the create action. So create action basically generate an action creator function for the given action type string, and it can also be used in place of type constant. So now let's talk about this create slice. So create slice is a function that accepts an initial state, an object of reducer function and a slice name, and then it automatically generates an action creator and action type that correspond to the reducer and state. So overall this create slice API is a standard approach for writing our Redux logic. Now let's move on and talk about the create async thunk. So create async thunk is used to perform asynchronous task with the Redux toolkit package. So this function normally accepts three parameters. The first parameter will be action type, which will be in string. The second parameter will be the function that will return a promise and generate a thunk that will dispatch either pending, fulfilled or rejected action type based on that promise. And the third parameter will be the option object. Now let's talk about this create entity adapter. So it generates a set of reusable reducer and selector to manage the normalized data in the store. So this is all about the Redux toolkit API, and we will understand more about this API like create slice, create async thunk, configure store in detail once we start building our application in the next section.